Hello there. How are you doing? It's been a little bit of a while, huh? Um, this is Kelly. And in case you didn't know, I took off the summer to go on an RV trip. And I really thought that this was going to be like a little summer vacation. I'd take off a little time, probably record a few episodes along the way because what the heck, I've got my microphone with me and I've got my computer with me. And, it'd just be life on the road. Honestly, I had no idea what to expect on this trip, and it was it was some of what I was expecting, and it was a lot of what I wasn't expecting. So here's what we're doing today. There is no fancy intro, there's no fancy outro, no music or anything. I just wanted to have a conversation. So here's what we're going to do. I was talking to Jamie, who's one of our coaches and who's a very dear friend of mine, and who also happens to be really, really smart. And this was about 3 weeks ago. We were having this conversation. And I said, I don't know what happened. I just haven't started. Like, I just fell off the bandwagon on the podcast and I just quit. And I've been doing it for 4 years. How could I just stop something that I've been doing for 4 years? And she laughs and she was like, Kelly, you're human. You're just like the rest of us. And even though, consistency is key when it comes to fitness and, that's your gig, we all do the same thing. And I went, you know what? She's right. She's right. I mean, I've had times in my life where I've just like suddenly just quit doing something I've been doing. And this was one of them. So welcome to the Secret Series. Here's what the Secret Series is. First, I'm going to, well, not first, let me just say this. So I want to dedicate this series to the listeners, but especially if you're in my world, like if you're one of my clients, you, in a very creepy sort of way, okay, probably crossed my mind on this trip. And so I've put together this series and I'm going to dedicate different episodes to different people. And I'll tell you all the episodes in a minute. But first, I just want to say this whole series, it's all Jamie. If Jamie hadn't told me to get off my butt and get back into the game, I probably would still be sitting there going, I don't know. Even if I did do a podcast for 4 years, I'm not sure if I can do it anymore. So forget that. I'm going to be rusty. So you get to just listen to me chat away and there's no editing. That means you might hear me say so 1,000 times or and 250,000 times, but we're just going to do it. Okay. Let's just go with it. So here's what happened. Let me tell you about the summer first. Here's my summer vacation. I feel like I'm back in school and I'm doing a report on my summer vacation. So my summer vacation was let me start at the very beginning. And last summer, back in 2023, end of the summer, it had been extraordinarily warm in Houston. And I hadn't gone anywhere. It was just one of these summers where I just didn't leave. And at the end of the summer, probably beginning of September, I looked Phil in the eye and I said, I am never, ever spending another summer in Houston, Texas for the rest of my life. I don't have enough summers left in my life to do this again. And in my mind, I'm thinking, we'll buy a little cottage in the mountains and we'll go spend the summers in the mountains and it'll be cool and it'll be pleasant and so on and so forth. Well, in Phil's mind, what Phil heard was, Phil, go out and buy an RV. wasn't what I was thinking. So, but he grew up doing this. He grew up being in RVs. So his family traveled all the time. And it was something he'd always wanted to do. And I thought, I don't know, take it or leave it kind of thing. Mostly leave it. So we ended up with this RV. And it was nice. I mean, it's big. It's not huge. It's older. I insisted that we not spend a ton of money on this project because we really didn't know what we were going to do. But we bought this RV. It's like 38 feet long. It's got a bedroom, has a kitchen, has a really small kitchen, has a really small refrigerator. And you're going to hear more about that as I talk about this series. So, so we decide to take off in this RV. But this is not my first rodeo. So instead of pulling the car behind the RV, I said, well, let me drive it. I'll drive the car. That way, if we're going up over overpasses or something, the RV doesn't have to work really hard to pull the car. And, we've got a car with us and all of these things. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so there's going to be a lot of togetherness, right? So in the car, I have time by myself. I have time to just think. And I assumed I would have time to make calls and, catch up with clients and do all the things, catch up with friends I hadn't been talking to. As an aside, we were in so many places that were so out of the way that there was no cell coverage. I mean, we had cell coverage when it came to internet because we would use like a Starlink satellite. But when it came to talking on the phone, that didn't happen. So 7,500 miles, basically, I just drove for the summer. And I also wanted the dogs with me because I'm that overprotective parent who thinks that, they should be with me and they'll be happier with me. So we take off, we're doing the thing, and I'm driving the car. And we hit New Mexico, and I realized that, okay, I'm not going to be chatting on my phone much. What am I going to be thinking about for the next, 2.5 months of driving? And what am I going to do? So I just started thinking about like different clients. And if I was to just sit down and have a conversation with them, what would that conversation be? Why and why, right? And why? Because even though certain clients made me think of certain things, like, maybe it would be motivation or consistency or starting small or community or whatever it was, right? It didn't really have to be a particular person because we all have these things, okay? We all have these things that sometimes we have to come back and start again and again and again. But that was it in a nutshell. That was the summer. And a few things that happened. And, first thing to know is that I took a weight set with me. I don't know what I was thinking. Trying to do weights in a bedroom, if you saw me do any of the lives, basically it's a bedroom with a queen size bed and a toilet shower. But that's it, right? So I'm trying to do my weights in there. It didn't work. So I was like, wait a second, we're just stopping this stuff right away. This is just making me irritated. So then I was doing body weight stuff, and it was, it was okay. I would give myself a C. I got a C for staying consistent with my exercise, like my, strength training, a C. But in that C, when I came home, I had definitely lost muscle mass. There was no doubt about it. I mean, lifting weights is the thing that keeps me strong, and it keeps my muscles actually. So I gave myself a C on, fitness, on exercise. Food. Food was anywhere from an A to an F. So I'm cooking on one little pot, like not one little pot, like a heating element, I guess is what you call it, a hot pad. I don't know what the hell you call it, but like it's one thing. So I'm using this one thing, and we are stopping places where we're not plugging our RV in, so we have to work off battery power. So I'm getting comments from the peanut gallery like, we can't use the microwave and the hot pad, or the hot whatever the thing's called. We can't use both of them at the same time. We can't, we're running down the battery. We're gonna have to, I'm just like snarling, but figured it out, enjoyed it, had fun. So that was like the downside of it. Let me tell you about the good side of it. The good side of it is it was middle of July. Well, first thing that happened was I got very lucky, and we left the morning that a hurricane hit Houston. So we left, hurricane hits Houston, no electricity at our house for 2 weeks. I had this amazing neighbor. I mean, the best woman in the world. She comes over, she cleans out my refrigerator, she takes everything, she throws everything out of the refrigerator, everything out of the freezer, because we have no electricity, and I don't have to worry about anything. So done, like super lucky. And then we get to New Mexico, and it's, I don't know, let's call it 100 degrees back home in Houston. We run into a snowstorm. I was like, let's throw snowballs. This is amazing. And the weather was beautiful. We had all these gorgeous hikes. We did a lot of just saw a lot of beautiful places, saw a lot of places I hadn't seen before. I'd never really spent time in New Mexico. I mean, I'd been through it a couple of times, but not that much. And I hadn't spent much time in Colorado since I was raised there for a few years when I was very young, but that was it. And then I saw all these other parts of the country that I'd never been to. And it was amazing. I truly enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun. We were camped out a lot of times in really the middle of nowhere. And it was nice. It was beautiful. Um, and so that was a super win. Okay. I have to tell you, definitely worth doing. I just know that next time I now know what to expect. So I would do things a little differently. So enough about me. All of that to say, I drove 7,500 miles, had a lot of time to think, did a lot of note taking, well, audio note taking, and a lot of thinking about what would I do or what will I do when I get back. So one thing I thought of, and I wrote this for my women, and I'd like to share it with you because I think it's for every person who listens to this podcast, every person that, every woman that I run into, that I meet, all of us. This is something, I call it a love letter to my women. And it's a little sappy, but hang with me because I think that it might touch a note. And if you would like it, go to the show notes or go to the website, or if you're on YouTube, just look in the transcript underneath and you'll be able to just download it. Okay. If you'd like this to hang on to it, I'd love for you to have it. So this is what I have to say. Life is a magnificent adventure, and the better you feel, the stronger you are, the bigger the adventure. You have the power to change your direction in a heartbeat. Motivation is nothing more than the thoughts, feelings, and actions you take that shape your reality and your body. Every day is a fresh start. Every day is an opportunity to restart. Fitness is a series of starts, pauses, and restarts until one day you realize that you are in the flow and you no longer worry or judge when those moments that you pause. Fitness is just who you are and how you live. It's who you've become. Your brain constantly rewires to create new habits and ways of thinking. If you don't like where you are currently, pick one thing to change and know with a capital KNOW, that small steps create everything you desire. 1% better daily leads to almost 100% change in roughly 90 days, a quarter of a year. Your thoughts influence your emotions, which impact your physical health. This isn't said to make you feel bad, but instead to make you feel empowered, amazing. Like you can shoot for the stars and dance across clouds. And if this sounds a little silly, stop and consider, how would shooting for the stars and dancing across the clouds feel? Pretty awesome, right? That feeling, the emotions it stirs up, those are the type of feelings that will get you where you want to go. Not the shoulds, not the have tos, not the I need to do this, or I wish I hadn't done that. Negative thoughts will always limit you, while positive thoughts fuel your dreams, your goals, and your well-being. You have the choice every day to focus on what's working, on your desires. Tune your brains to possibilities and cultivate hope. Think back when you felt exactly how you want to feel. Capture that feeling and bring it into your life again and again and again. It doesn't matter what you were doing at that moment in time, but just feel it again and again. Positive thinking and visualization have a basis in science for creating life changes. Use your brain, your emotions, and your imagination to create the future you desire. Remember, consistency is key to your fitness, and it's key to the life you love and want. It's the secret sauce that will make your desires come to fruition. Stay aware of your thoughts. Have positive thoughts at the ready when you need them. Keep an arsenal of positive options to think about for when See, I told you, no editing. Let me say that again. Keep an arsenal of positive options and thoughts for when the negative ones show up, because negative thoughts will show up. And that doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is to keep an awareness and to have that bliss list ready to focus on. Begin your day the night before, knowing exactly what you want to do, what your fitness schedule looks like, and what your day brings. Then begin your morning with intention. Visualize your body feeling the way you want it to feel. Visualize your successful workouts. Visualize your success and end the day with gratitude. Take risks, try new things, push yourself occasionally. And when you stretch yourself, remember, you never come back to the person you were before. You've created space for something new. Missing workouts, failure, and injuries are natural parts of being an athlete. Take notice of what didn't work and then move forward. Trust yourself. Trust your dreams. Have fun. Take action. And create an environment that works for you. Surround yourself with women who cheer you on, who want more for themselves and more for you. Women who are willing to push for a life of adventure and health. Be kind to yourself. Your words have power. Find ways to curb stress and emotional upheaval. Deep breathing, moving your attention, meditation, journaling. These things are not luxuries. They are necessities in life. Fitness is not a luxury. It's a gift and it's a necessity. Change has ups and downs. Be kind to yourself. Be patient. Celebrate your wins and your progress. No matter how small or how big, celebrate. These signposts show you a life well lived. Remember, your past does not define you or your future. Focus on the present and the choices you can make now, choices that you can make today. Forgive yourself for any choices you feel weren't the best. Forgive and move on. Gratitude is a powerful tool for shifting your mood and your perspective. Skip any and all unnecessary comparisons that come up. There is no need to compare ourselves to anyone else. It's simply us leading a life that we want. Resilience is bouncing back from setbacks and growing stronger from challenges. Treat yourself kindly during difficult times. Life is a journey. Celebrate, push yourself, have fun, and always trust that there's more in life, more life in your life, and there's time to create what you desire. Choose what you want, give it your attention, start, restart, and start again. Remember to embrace fun, fitness, and freedom. Thank you so much for saying yes to yourself. Thank you so much for choosing you. Yeah, that was my love letter to all of you and to all the women that I know that I work with that listen. I really, I mean every one of those words. So right now, let me give you a little bit of a prequel, I guess, of a look into the future of what we're going to be talking about in the rest of this series, so you know what to tune into for next. So one of the things that we're going to be talking about is saying no so you can say yes. This is about boundaries. It's about claiming your space. It's about really putting yourself first, which is so hard, right? It's so hard for most of us, especially like it's my women who are the most driven and the most successful that find it the hardest to say no again and again. Next one is imperfect action creates perfect results. Another one we're going to be talking about is simply the power of possibilities. And I always like to talk about what can happen in 90 days. So we'll have a little piece on that and a little show and tell. Obviously, we've got to jump in. Actually, I'm going to come back to that one. I want to talk about changing your approach until you get it right. I saw several of the women that we were working in the group this summer do this, and it was amazing. Okay, amazing. The power of community goes back to that group that we had going on this summer, and having community makes things work. And it's good for us. It's healthy for us. Community matters. Knowing your kryptonite. Yeah, I know my kryptonite. Did I fall prey to it over the summer? Probably. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about having a plan to avoid it and how to move your attention. And then the last one I wanted to say is that last one I'm bringing up, first one on the series is we're going back to the very basics. consistency is key. I'm going to talk about why it's so important, why it's so hard to do, how to stay on track, and then I want to talk about the 3 secrets to making it work no matter what's going on. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me in the series. Thank you, Jamie, for the push. And if you're listening on the podcast, please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It really actually makes a huge difference for this podcast. And leave a review. Oh my gosh. Reviews are like gold nuggets. And I read every one of them and I take them all in. Okay. Now you're going to know how goofy I am. Not only do I read every one of them, I print them out a lot of times and put them on my bulletin board because they make me feel so good. And then if you're on YouTube, please, give us a subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you've got questions. You can drop a question in the comments and I will come back and look at them. And so this is it. I'm going to wrap it up. I want to say thank you so much for being here. And I will see you on the next episode. And this is it. No music to say goodnight. Bye-bye now. Thank you very, very much for seeing us. See, there you go. I would have had that edited out, but no edit, so I'll just go with it. Love you. Bye-bye.